IGF-1 is the peripheral target hormone for GH. Feedbacks to inhibit the GH. Estrogen induces GH, whereas chronic glucocorticoid suppresses GH release. So suppressors are IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor inhibit. Also glucocorticoids will inhibit, and whereas estrogen will induce. So surface receptors on the somatotrope regulate the GH synthesis and secretion. The GHRH is a G-coupled protein receptors. G protein coupled receptor that signals through the intracellular cyclic AMP pathway to stimulate somatotropic proliferation as well as GH production. A little reminder, prolactin was acting via a cell type 1 cytokine receptor that further activates the JAK-STAT pathway, whereas this one, growth hormone G4 G protein coupled receptors that is via the increase in cyclic AMP that stimulates proliferation production. Inactivating mutation of GHRH receptor will cause profound dwarfism. Okay, so we are talking about GHRH receptor here, right? The distinct surface receptor for ghrelin, which is the gastric derived GH secretagogue. So estrogen also is a GH secretagogue and ghrelin is a secretagogue. It is expressed in both hypothalamus and pituitary. Then somatostatin binds to 5 distinct receptor subtypes 1 to 5, of which 2 and 5 preferentially suppress the GH and TSH, and 5 suppresses the ACTH secretion. I think this is important for MCQ, not for your theory. Okay, so somatostatin is an inhibitory, right? So I will tell you inhibitory once again. Somatostatin, IGF-1 and corticosteroid, and stimulatory are of course GHRH. Then there is estrogen and ghrelin. Okay, so somatostatin 1 to 5, to 2 and 5 are for growth hormone and TSH, and 5 alone is to suppress the ACTH secretion. Now GH secretion is pulsatile, the highest peak occurring at the night. All these hormones are highest is occurring at the night, but this one is correlating with the sleep onset. Prolactin, I told you, was in the middle of sleep, early morning, that is 4 to 6. This one is with the sleep onset, growth hormone. Growth hormone secretory rate declined markedly with age. So the hormone in the middle age is about 15% of the pubertal level. Okay, these changes are parallel with the age-related decline in lean muscle mass. Okay, the GH secretion is also reduced in obese individual, although IGF-1 may not be suppressed, suggesting a change in the set point for feedback control. GH secretion is reduced in obese individual. Elevated GH level occur within an hour of deep sleep onset and after exercise, physical stress, trauma, during sepsis. Integrated 24 hours GH secretion is higher in women and is enhanced by estrogen replacement. Like I told you, estrogen induces growth hormone. So it is higher in women, likely reflective of increased, it will be higher because of the increased peripheral GH resistance. Okay. Using standard assay, randomized GH measurements are undetectable in 50% of the daytime sample of healthy subject and undetectable in most of the obese and elderly subject. Okay, so that is why single random GH measurement do not distinguish the patient with GH deficiency from normal person. The GH secretion is profoundly influenced by nutritional factors. A newer ultra-sensitive GH assay with sensitivity of 0.02 microgram per liter. In this, a glucose load is given which suppresses the GH to 0.7 microgram per liter in male and 0.07 in females and 0.07 in men. Okay, the glucose load will suppress the growth hormone. Increase in GH pulse frequency and peak amplitude occur in chronic malnutrition. The opposite thing, whenever glucose is not given, chronic malnutrition and fasting में the GH pulse amplitude as well as amount as well as the frequency will increase, whereas if you give glucose then the GH will decrease. GH is stimulated by intravenous L-arginine, dopamine and apomorphine, which is a dopamine receptor agonist, as well as alpha adrenergic pathways, beta adrenergic pathways. Beta adrenergic blockade induces basal and GH and enhances GHRH and insulin evoked GH release. So beta blocker will increase the growth hormone. Again, important for MCQs. So revising up till now, first of all, GH is secreted by the somatotropes. 50% somatotropes are there. pituitary cells, of which 50% are constituted by somatotropes, and mammosomatotropes secretes prolactin and GH both together. Okay. Then PIT1 is the nuclear transcription factor. Then there is a pituitary GH gene. Pituitary growth hormone gene secretes mainly 22 kilodalton GH and another is 20 kilodalton. Then there is placental syncytioblastic cells which via the human GH V gene secrete growth hormone which is called as human chorionic somatotropin. Secretion GHRH increases the synthesis, ghrelin increases the synthesis, and estrogen induces the synthesis. Inhibitors are somatostatin, which is somatostatin really inhibitory hormone, somatostatin, IGF-1 and chronic glucocorticosteroid. Okay, now the GHRH, we know GHRH is released in pulse, whereas the inhibiting factor is constant basal secretory phase is there. The somatostatin is secreted by the preoptic area of hypothalamus. Other than that, in CNS, GI and pancreas, where it inhibits the islet hormone secretion. Okay. Then the receptor, GHRH receptor, GPCR, cyclic AMP pathway, and if there are any resistant mutation, then it will give rise to dwarfism. The secretagogue, fine. Somatostatin binds to somatostatin receptors are 1 to 5, 2 and 5 are mainly to suppress the GH as well as TSH, and number 5 alone is to suppress the ACTH secretion. Then GH secretion is pulsatile maximum at the night within the deep sleep, and of which the maximum is at the hour of the first sleep. Okay. And it fine. The GH the declines, the level of growth hormone keeps declining after puberty, maximum at puberty. It is paralleled by the decline in lean muscle mass. So obese individual may it is reduced because lean muscle mass is less and fat is more. Right. Elevated GH occur an hour of the deep sleep after exercise, physical stress, trauma, during sepsis. Then estrogen induces GH. So estrogen replacement, so in females the 24-hour GH secretion will be higher. Also this is even enhanced by estrogen replacement. It is reflective of increase in peripheral resistance. Standard essay में तो सबका ही नेगेटिव आएगा, इसलिए daytime standard essays are not done because it will not show any level of hormone in deficiency or even in normal person. So there are ultra sensitive growth hormone assays which is sensitive even up to 0.02 microgram per liter. So once we give a glucose dose, the GH should be suppressed. So to 0.7 microgram per liter in female and 0.07 in male. And during chronic malnutrition and fasting, the GH will increase frequency as well as amount. GH is another way stimulated by IV L-arginine, dopamine, apomorphine and alpha-adrenergic. This is stimulated. Even alpha-adrenergic, that is alpha agonist stimulate, whereas beta blockers stimulate. Okay. Now the action of growth hormone. The pattern of GH secretion may affect the tissue response. Higher GH pulsatility is observed in men compared with relatively basal GH secretion in women. Okay. Because it is an important biologic factor determinant of growth and liver enzyme blah blah. So GH male is more in a pulsatile fashion, whereas in females it is more of a continuous basal secretion. The 70 kilodalton peripheral GH receptor protein has a structural homology with the cytokine hematopoietic superfamily. The fragment of I don't think this is important. The fragment of receptor extracellular domain generates a suitable GH binding protein. Fragment of the receptor's extracellular domain generates a GH binding protein which interacts with GH in the circulation. Liver and the cartilage express the greatest number of GH receptor. Let me highlight liver and the cartilage, greatest number of GH receptors. Okay. The GH binding to preform receptor dimers is followed by internal rotation and subsequent signaling to JAK-STAT pathway. So this is also cytokine family as it is mentioned. Cytokine or hematopoietic also. JAK-STAT pathway is seen in myeloproliferative disorders. So again this is also a cytokine type receptor, and after binding there is a signaling through JAK-STAT pathway, that these proteins translocate in the nucleus where they modulate the expression of GH regulated target genes. The GH analogs that bind to the receptor but are incapable of mediating receptor signal are the potential antagonist of GH action. For GH receptor antagonist, that is pegvisomant, is approved for treatment of acromegaly, that is who bind to the receptor and do not activate the nuclear target gene, that is pegvisomant. GH induces protein synthesis and nitrogen retention. Also impairs glucose tolerance by antagonizing insulin action. So it causes protein synthesis, of course growth, nitrogen retention, nitrogen is required for the proteins, and it impairs glucose tolerance by antagonizing insulin action. So it increases glucose, it stops insulin action. GH stimulates lipolysis, leading to increased circulating fatty acid level, reduced omental fat mass, and enhanced lean body mass. Right. GH stimulates lipolysis, so fat will be broken down to circulating fatty acids in blood, reduce omental fat mass, and it will enhance the lean body mass. GH promotes sodium, potassium, and water retention, elevates serum levels of inorganic phosphate. Sodium, potassium, water retention elevates inorganic phosphate. Linear bone growth occurs as a result of complex hormonal and growth factor action, including those of IGF-1. GH stimulates the epiphyseal chondrocyte differentiation. Yes, this is important. It stimulates the epiphyseal pre-chondrocyte differentiation. These precursor cells produce IGF-1 locally, and their proliferation is also responsive to growth factor. Okay, so protein synthesis, nitrogen retention, glucose, impaired glucose tolerance because of inhibiting the action of insulin, lipolysis, increasing the circulating free fatty acid, reducing the omental mass, enhancing the lean body mass, sodium, potassium, water retention, elevated serum inorganic phosphate, linear bone growth. This is by IGF-1 again. So bone में IGF-1 आ जाता है. Also, I mean, it stimulates epiphyseal precondylar differentiation, and the precursor this secrete IGF-1 locally. Now what is insulin-like growth factors? Only this much is left. After this we go to dwarfism and acromegaly. So insulin-like growth factor. Although the GH exerts direct effect on its target tissue, many of its physiologic effects are mediated indirectly through IGF-1, which is a potent growth and differentiation factor. Liver is the main source of circulating IGF-1. In peripheral tissues, IGF-1 exerts a local paracrine action that appear to be both dependent on and independent on GH. Okay, so it has a local action also, and distance and endocrine action also, local paracrine action also. GH administration induces circulating IGF-1 as well as stimulates local IGF-1 production in multiple tissues. Both IGF-1 and 2 are bound to high affinity circulating protein, which is called as IGF binding protein, that regulate the IGF availability and bioactivity. Level of IGF binding protein 3 is GH dependent. It serves as a major carrier protein. So main important is IGF binding protein 3, which is GH dependent, and it is a major carrier protein. GH deficiency and malnutrition are associated with low IGF binding protein 3, whereas 1 and 2 binding proteins regulate the local. So circulating में 3 है and 1 and 2 is local tissue action. It do not bind to appreciable amount of circulating IGF. So ठीक है, 1 and 2 is for local, and blood में circulating is 3. Serum IGF-1 concentrations are profoundly affected by physiologic factors. Levels increase during puberty, peak at 16 years, subsequently decline by more than 80% with aging. IGF-1 concentrate is higher in women than in men, similar to GH. Because GH is a major determinant of hepatic IGF-1 synthesis, abnormality in GH synthesis or action will reduce the IGF-1 level. Hypocaloric status is associated with GH resistance. Therefore, IGF-1 levels are low with cachexia, malnutrition, and sepsis, just like GH. Even over here we had read malnutrition mein the GH level will be less. Increased GH person occurs in chronic malnutrition and prolonged fasting. Okay. हाँ, so वही मतलब यहाँ पे increase GH frequency and amplitude बोला है in chronic malnutrition fasting. Increase क्यों हो जाता है? Because there is GH resistance. Okay, so GH resistance है, that is why IGF-1 level will be low. GH causes stimulation and synthesis and release of IGF-1. So IGF-1 will be low in cachexia, malnutrition, and sepsis. Let me mark both these points. even in GH. Okay. In acromegaly, so acromegaly में GH ज़्यादा है तो IGF-1 भी ज़्यादा रहेगा. IGF-1 will be invariably high and a log linear relationship with circulating GH concentration. IGF-1 physiology, injected IGF-1 100 microgram per kg induces hypoglycemia. So just action of GH. GH will cause insulin resistance, hypoglycemia. So this will also cause hypoglycemia. Low dose improve insulin sensitivity. And lower doses improve insulin sensitivity in patients with severe insulin resistance and diabetes. Okay, this is not there for GH. IGF-1 otherwise induces hypoglycemia. Lower dose improve insulin sensitivity in patients with severe. Okay, insulin में तो hypoglycemia करता है, ठीक है. So this is opposite action of GH. GH causes impaired glucose tolerance, and this one causes improves insulin sensitivity and causes hypoglycemia, especially in diabetes. Okay, that is good. In cachectic subject, cachectic में IGF कम है. Okay, so IGF-1 infusion enhances nitrogen retention, lowers cholesterol. So this is good. Long-term subcutaneous IGF-1 injection enhance protein synthesis and are anabolic. Although bone formation markers are induced, bone turnover may be stimulated by IGF-1. IGF-1 is approved for use in patient with GH resistant system. So IGF-1 अच्छा part है. It does all the good work of GH. IGF-1 side effects are dose dependent. Overdose may result in hypoglycemia, of course. Hypotension, fluid retention, yes. Temporomandibular joint pain, increase intracranial pressure, all of which are reversible. Okay. Avascular femoral head necrosis is also reported. Chronic excess IGF-1 administration which result in features of acromegaly, of course. So side effects: hypoglycemia, hypotension, fluid retention. So there's fluid retention as well as hypotension. Temporomandibular jaw pain, increase intracranial pressure, all of which are reversible. Avascular femoral head necrosis. Okay, so let me go through again. IGF-1, if you inject it, it improves insulin sensitivity, causes hypoglycemia. Given in cachexia IV, it causes nitrogen retention, lowers the cholesterol level, it induces protein synthesis, and even stimulates the bone growth. Side effects I just mentioned. So insulin-like growth factors, going from the beginning, liver is the major source of circulating IGF-1. It has both endocrine as well as local paracrine action. Okay, and GH administration induces the circulating IGF-1 as well as local IGF-1. IGF-1 and 2 have IGF binding protein. 3 वाला circulating होता है and 1 and 2 local होता है. ठीक है, it keeps on increasing, maximum at puberty at 16 years and then decline higher in women. ठीक है, GH is a major determinant of IGF-1 synthesis. In GH resistant IGF level, hypocaloric states are associated with GH resistant. IGF-1 levels will be low in cachexia and malnutrition. Okay, then we said that injected will improve the insulin sensitivity. In cachexia it is good nitrogen retention, lowers the cholesterol. In side effects will be hypoglycemia, hypotension, fluid overload, temporomandibular joint pain, increase intracranial pressure, all of which are reversible, and avascular femoral head necrosis. And ज़्यादा देंगे तो acromegaly हो जाएगा. So now we shall read disorders of growth hormone.